Hi, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Hey, did I tell you quit smoking?
Hmm?
I quit smoking. Or vaping.
When were you? Oh, did you? For how long?
Right now I'm like 4 days in.
Oh, shit, okay.
Last was... No, dude, I'm almost 7 days in. Last one was last Thursday.
Shit, that's not bad, actually.
Dude, it sucks. I fucking hate it.
I was like, you said a couple times, I'm going to quit, and then next episode, you're like, all right, maybe one day.
Dude,
Hey, you're on it, though. You're on it.
Well, you know what I did is I'm out visiting my brother, so I left everything in Calgary, and I'm not gonna vape here, and I'm not gonna smoke here.
So once you get back to Calgary, might be a different
probably, story. Almost definitely.
Hey, still, the fact you've gone 7 days, though, that's impressive in itself.
Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, timer. Do you want to kick us off, or should I kick us off?
I give her.
All right.
We got no
I'm
structure.
in an apartment, so I can't yell as much as usual.
That's so good. I'll get you fired up anyways.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Post Game Overtime. I'm Will, joined as always with Brandon. Brandon, how are we feeling, baby?
We are feeling good. I don't think we had an episode last week. If I'm, we did. We did earlier.
Friday?
Yeah, we did earlier last week. We just didn't do. Yeah, we just didn't do the UFC one in the end, which probably a good thing we didn't, because we would have gave everyone
a losing
parlay. So
almost lost on the last leg. I think that should count for something.
Yeah. Well, exactly, right. That's kind of the thing. Is like we're getting on the right track. We just and we keep getting to the top of the mountain and falling down.
That's something we talked about over just text between us after the fights. You know, that parlay which stings the most about it is it wasn't a brain parlay, it was a heart parlay. Like that last leg. I feel like we both talked. Dude, I had a hunch going into this Volk was gonna lose. Everything pointed to Volk was gonna lose. Coming off that KO, he's 35. Like that whole thing's of champs don't win past 35, and you know, not everyone can be Thomas Edward Brady playing until 45 and winning chips. So,
arguably could have won another one this year if he went to the 49ers like they wanted.
Dude, I heard that would have been
potentially could have had another one.
Have you seen, my apologies if we talked about this last episode, have you seen all of the clips, all the comments of like, I used to hate Tom Brady and the Patriots, but now that we're in the dark Mahomes Chiefs era, like now that we're in the worst timeline, now I just wish for Brady and Gronk back.
I've actually seen quite a few people been saying that. I'm like, well, that's what you get for bitching and complaining about him for all
you don't
those
know
years.
What you
now
got
you don't got them.
Yeah,
they were the only ones to be able to do it, to take down the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So.
And what do they say is like the enemy you know is always better than the one you don't.
Yeah. That's perfect way of breaking it down.
So they thought they were better off without Brady.
Yeah. Going back to the UFC. Going back to the UFC parlay. For those who don't know, basically every leg we had to hit. The last one came down to we had Volkanovski winning. He didn't. And I was talking to one of my buddies because I sent him the parlay as well, and he was asking me before the fight, the Volk fight at the end. He was like, "What are you doing? Are you cashing out? Are you riding?" I was like, "I'm gonna ride," only because, like you said, it was a heart bet. You know, we didn't use our brains for it, and part of me is like, first of all, that the cash out wasn't very good compared to what the payout would have been if Volk won. First of all, and second of all, if you take the cash out, then you're almost kind of sitting there, and it's kind of a thing in the back of your mind of like, you almost want Volk to lose at that point then.
Fair.
Because you don't want to cash out and then watch this big parlay end up paying. You're like, man, I wish I stuck out with that last leg. So I'm like, well, it's either I cash out and kind of subconsciously want Volk to lose, or I just ride it out and you win big or lose big. So that's kind of where Where I ended up with it, ultimately lost big, but
if you're gonna make the heart bet, you got to stick with the heart bet. I think that's the other
one. Exactly. If it's a brain one, it's a totally different story. But we don't do that. No. We've never done that. We've never done
that. No,
that's not in our repertoire.
Because if we did that, we would win parlays, and that's not what this show
and
is
about. That's not fun. That's not fun. We like unpredictable.
Actually, I was talking with someone earlier today. Actually, I was at the supplement store getting my lift on, and the guy, we were talking about, you know, comedy while I was in town, and I told him, like, well, you know, I run a podcast. Are you into sports? He goes, oh, I love sports. And I go, are you into sports betting? And he goes, not so much. I'm like, well, don't worry. This podcast isn't about betting. It's about burning money. A bet honestly, implies there's a chance to win. This podcast is grab your lighters, kids. We're going to light $5 on fire. Not much. It's not like we're not rappers. We're not flex. We're not going to burn $100, but we're going to light $5 on fire on a pretty consistent basis. And that's why you tune in. Basis. That's the charm of us. You know, this isn't a get rich quick scam. This is a get poor very slowly scam.
But you're doing it with your buddies, so
doing it with the boys. Baker and the boys. Baker and the boys.
Speaking of the boys over in Toronto, Morgan Riley, he got 5 games for that.
5 games. Yeah, I heard he's appealing it.
They did appeal it. It was rejected, but he'll be able to play Toronto's next game coming up now.
So they don't play again for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Sens.
Oh, sorry. They play today, and then he'll be eligible to return.
No, but Senators, Leafs don't play for the rest of the season. So we're not going to get to see the rematch game. No, I looked it up. That was their last game of the season against each other.
Oh shit! It was. Yeah. Damn.
I know.
That's just gonna boil over to.
Do you think?
Because we know Ottawa ain't making the playoffs, so maybe it boils over to next year.
Do you really think it will?
I think the way it's going now, it almost looks like this is going to be just a staple of the rivalry now. For as long as Ridley Gregg's there, it's very similar to when, you know, just trying to think one off the top of my head, when like a couple years ago when San Jose and Vegas would always play. It was always every game, didn't matter what season it was, if it was the year before, now the next season. When Evander Kane and Ryan Reeves played on their respective teams, you always knew that there was going to be something going on revolving them, because it's just a natural, you know, hatred amongst those players that just it sticks there and it doesn't go away. So, you know, Toronto, well, I mean, we'll brush it off for the rest of the year because they're going to make the playoffs. They're playing really good right now, actually. Ottawa sucks, but next year, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they open this wound again and go back to it, because, you know, I don't think they're gonna let it slide. I think there will be some payback at some point.
I hope there is.
I would hope so. I would hope so. It'd be kind of weird for it to just be swept under the rug. And
I hope Morgan Riley scores an empty net clapper.
Also, but that's the thing. Like, if he gets the opportunity, why not?
He's gonna
dish it back.
Yeah, I think, and that's the best revenge. That and a dental bill that he gave him. Yeah. I will say this: we went back and forth about it on the pod last week, and I'm not gonna say it was justified or whatever, because obviously you don't cross-check a guy to the head, but appealing that is crazy.
I think
what's your appeal argument? What's your, like, it was clear as day. What are you going for there? We're back from a little technical difficulty there, folks. So we're talking about the Morgan Riley appeal. Why are you appealing this?
So what I was So what it was, so I, before I cut out, I was saying how there's a lot of Toronto fans that, you know, are obviously all over this situation and everything. And they're complaining about the appeal and whatnot. So basically, what the appeal is it's not necessarily for the player to get back on the ice sooner, because the appeal decision didn't come out until yesterday. So by then, he's only got one game left of his suspension to serve. So say it was reduced from 5 games to 2. Basically, it just means that he gets paid for those games that he's missed, where he wouldn't have been suspended. So for those 2 games he's already missed, he would still actually get paid for those. So it's basically not to get the player back out on the ice sooner. It's to just compensate them for some of their losses, basically.
Okay, fair, but what's your root of the appeal? Like, what are you saying?
Well, yeah, I guess that's the big part of it, is what like, how do you justify and try to be like, well, it's not worth this amount of games or something, I guess. Yeah.
I can't.
It's interesting. I'm curious to know what their argument was for trying to reduce it.
I only tried to cross-check him in the jaw because I was really mad.
Yeah, and it just happened to miss, and caught him in the head, like, oopsie. It's like, you're still getting 5 games for that.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. And I was defending him initially, if you remember.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't have gotten the suspension. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying,
what's your method of appeal? Pardon?
Toronto's been on a roll though with him out. They've won all 4 games with.
Maybe they were trying to appeal to make it longer.
Maybe. But that's the thing, right? Like, they're doing just fine without him. They're on a roll, and no one's stopping them right now. But
fair.
That could very well change when they play the Coyotes, because we know how good the Arizona Coyotes are.
Oh yeah. Speaking of draft busts, Connor Bedard.
Yeah. Huge bust.
Huge bust. Did you see the clip of him beefing with the goalie of, I want to say, the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think about that? Because we're doing a quick, so real quick, folks. We're doing a quick episode this week. This isn't the full length. We got a big, huge, juicy, different, multifaceted episode planned for you next week. I know we said big things were coming. The big things are next week. We're not gonna pre-announce. We're just gonna do it. You're gonna see it. We got a new segment coming out. We got a new medium. We're doing different things. We're really making that push.
We've just had a lot going on. You've been traveling a lot. I'm in the process of moving. Like,
are you? Yeah. What's your home address? Say it on the. Say it to the.
I ain't giving that out. I ain't giving that.
Listeners. Well, probably two out of the 3 listeners know the home probably already.
No, I don't think anyone knows the current place I'm at.
Not even me?
I've only been at it for 6 months.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we do have big stuff coming up that I think we're very excited for.
Exactly. So this is a quicker episode. So I'll say not to blow through the episode, but I say, like, I'm gonna call this a mid-episode clown report.
Okay.
Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
So for those who didn't see, the defenseman pushed him into their own goalie. His own, like, defenseman's, like, Carolina's defenseman pushed Bedard into the Carolina goalie. There didn't really seem to be much pushing and shoving. They just kind of got tangled up. I didn't even think the goalie, there was nothing huge in the moment. Tangled up. I think Bedard kind of looked like he kind of intentionally tangled the stick. Maybe not. That's just, I don't think that's dirty. It's just kind of hard play.
Yeah.
Whatever, goalie gets out, play continues, play ends as either TV timeout or end of the period or whatever, but they're skating back to the bench. And the goalie kind of gives Bedard a push. And Bedard turns around and slashes him in the pads. And then and what I find funny is Bedard then just hustles away and the goalie just stays there.
Yeah.
And like the enforcers come in, and the enforcers from Chicago are like, "It's okay, little Connor. It's okay. It's okay. No one's gonna make you eat McDonald's. We're gonna come in here. We already got rid of Corey Perry for you. It's okay, Connor. We'll take care of you, Connor." And so they come in. Connor shits his jocks, sprints off the ice. He was worried they were gonna give him a Big Mac, and then later in the game, Connor scores a goal. Doesn't do it like set up, right place, right time, great shot, one timer, but the other players did a lot of the work to kind of get him that goal. I'd feel. I think the assist was more impressive than the goal, in my opinion.
I would agree.
He was just kind of right place, right time. Still great shot. Still to make that great shot, and quick shot, good shot. Like he did his job. The assist was quite a lot of dancing. I think it was quite impressive.
Yeah.
And then Connor stares down the goalie, scores, and does like this fucking fuck you showdown. And the goalie just looks at him and points at the scoreboard where Connor's goal made the game 5-2. Carolina is still butt fucking the Chicago Blackhawks. And and it makes me kind of go, Connor, you're a bit of a clown for that one. Like that to me, that feels like an emotional 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Bit of a clown move, in my opinion. Bit of a clown move.
Well, 100%. Like if you're down by, and correct, I'll look it up here just to double check. I'm pretty sure that was also in the third period. It was in the third period. So like they were already getting just wiped, and he does.
What was the final?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like it's like, come on, man. Like what are you doing? Like, you know, if you do that and you make it a 1-goal game or something, you guys are storming back, and you know you want to rattle the goal or something, sure. But like when you're getting slapped around like that, like, yeah, come on.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, I like the enthusiasm, the swagger from him, but you got to read the room and know right place, right time. And when you're getting whooped like that, it's
Oh yeah.
It's a tough look on him, but at the same time, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt. Like you said, he's you know, he is still 18, and so you know, gotta cut him a little bit of slack. But
yeah, I think it was just an emotional 18-year-old move.
Yeah,
personally, like I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with. I don't know, man. I'm trying not to dog on the poor kid, but like it was just such a stupid play.
Yeah,
like to stare him down like that afterwards. It's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, man. Like who fucking cares? I don't know. Is that just me? Am I being overly harsh here?
As soon as I saw it, I was like,
like that's a bad look. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I would put that up there with that's almost like that's not as bad as clap bombing a empty netter, but like come on.
You're better off at that point just doing a big sally or something, drawing all the
anything. You're better off going back to your bench going, all right, they clap fucked us 5-2.
Well, yeah.
At least we made it 5-2.
Yeah, that's the best of
You're scoring in garbage time.
That's like there was 3 options, and I think he took the worst one. That being said, you know, he's 18. He's on a shit team. He knows he's on a shit team. So
yeah, you think?
You know, I think so, and I think that's that's also a really tough culture to go into as, you know, this next big, great young rookie. Like, you know, the only other, like, you know, the generational, you know, franchise players we've only really seen recently with McDavid, and then before him Crosby. And you know, Crosby came in and there was already good pieces there. You know, Fleury was there, Malcolm was there, so it's kind of like, okay, the core is starting to grow here. You know, with Edmonton, McDavid came in, he was surrounded by multiple other first overall picks, other good young prospects. Great coach was brought in. So they did everything to, put McDavid in the best situation. And then Bedard comes in, and Chicago's just starting this rebuild, and they don't really, they went out and grabbed a couple of players, and it didn't really work. Like, Corey Perry did what he did. He's gone. Taylor Hall is injured. He's done for the season. So Bedard really just came in, and it's like, hey, you're going to be thrown into this losing environment. You're going to be in this losing environment for the next 3 to 4 years, and then we're going to come out flying. So it's tough on an 18-year-old to come to the NHL and be, this player they're marketing like crazy, this generational guy, but it's like you have to lose, 75% of your games for the next, at least 2 years. Like that's got to be a tough spot to be in as an 18-year-old who, is used to winning and good vibes around, because I can't imagine the vibes are great with Chicago when you're losing damn near every game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that's what every NFL prospect goes through every year.
It's not.
That's what every NFL prospect goes through every year. Can we not just admit to that?
Yeah. Well, did you see? I don't know who it was. Some guy did a, how they like to look back at recent drafts and do like a redraft. And there was some big NFL analyst who did a redraft from last year. And first overall pick, Bryce Young. He didn't even have Bryce Young taken in the first round. Yeah. Because he didn't impress last year, didn't look good. But it's like, hey, but he was on a horrible,
probably the worst team.
Like, and it's like to be like, he's not even a first round pick now. It's like, dude, like, and I think he had Will Levis like in the top 4 or something. I was like, dude.
Was CJ Stroud number 1 though?
Yeah,
had to be. Yeah.
Which I think that's fair, but I think Bryce Young is still a top 3 guy in that draft. He's just, who did he have to play with? Carolina shipped off everyone. All he had was Adam Thielen, he made Adam Thielen actually kind of look like a stud last year, if anything.
Oh, shut up. Adam Thielen's great. What the fuck are you talking about?
He kind of fell off a little bit near the end with Minnesota, but again, I guess fair, he wasn't the number 1 anymore.
He wasn't the number 1, and like, to be fair, he is getting older. I get that, but yeah, no, I think Thielen still got it.
I definitely do think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
You want to hear a crazy stat that I found?
Yes, I do.
The Chiefs O-line, I don't know if you've seen this, but the Chiefs O-line hadn't, like, in their 3 Super Bowl wins, their offensive line hasn't been called for a single holding penalty.
Yeah, I saw that.
And what makes it, and then they put below it, what makes this even crazier, the Chiefs had the most offensive holding calls this season than any other NFL team. But in all their Super Bowl wins, they didn't get tagged with one. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. And have you seen the clips? Like, there's some egregious holdings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, and not even like, oh, like, it's the Super Bowl, you let him play. It's like you see that and you go, oh, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then to go more on it, then the Chiefs put out one. I'm just trying to find what exactly it was. It was like through so in this past season, their defense held opponents to under 25 points in 20 of their 21 total games, which makes the most for any team in NFL history, which, I mean, shit, like 20 out of 21 games, you're holding your opponent to 25 points or under. That's pretty impressive.
Who did that?
Yeah, the Chiefs did, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that's not bad.
Like, I obviously don't pay much.
I don't listen to them,
but like the fact that they did that, and the one team that did it. I'm assuming I didn't go through and look all their individual games, but all the replies are just a bunch of Packers fans in there. So I'm assuming that it was the Packers, which I'm pretty sure it was, if I can remember back to that game.
That's hilarious. That is just all Packers fan being like, scoreboard, motherfucker. Even though they won the whole thing, and like Packers are just like, scoreboard, we put up points on you that one time.
Hey, Packers won a playoff game though.
Yeah, you know. So is it safe to say Aaron Rodgers is a fraud?
His Achilles is a fraud.
Jesus.
Not as
bad as the Achilles of that San Fran player.
Yeah. Who was that, Greenlaw?
Yeah, I think so. All right, so Ilia Topuria at UFC 298 calls out Conor McGregor.
Michael Chandler called out Conor McGregor.
Huh?
Michael Chandler did.
Yeah, because they're gonna fight each other. They are scheduled to fight each other. I've heard, and I don't know if there's any truth to this.
Do you know where he called out McGregor though?
At like a WWE match, right?
Yeah. They just showed he was on. He was in attendance and he was sitting right behind one of the announcers, and they gave him a mic and he got the crowd riled up, and then he called out McGregor, and the place went nuts. Which is kind of cool though, because to see like the interlinkings between the WWE and the UFC now, because they're all
owned by, what is it, Endeavor?
Endeavor, yeah.
What an endeavor. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I've heard they're opening a new weight division. Have you heard this? Have you heard these rumors, or am I crazy?
I actually haven't, no. So I don't know if you're serious or not.
So did I get memed? Did I
don't know. If it was true, you would know more than I would. I wouldn't. I don't think I would have heard about it too much.
Okay, so there are rumors that Dana White might be introducing a new weight class at UFC 300.
Ooh. I mean, that could be cool though.
So I'm guessing 165 is what Conor and Chandler are gonna fight at.
Yeah. Assuming it happens.
Oh yeah.
Well, assume McGregor doesn't pull out or anything or get another boo-boo.
I think he'll be good.
I think so, and I really do hope so, because I feel like this is like, it's just been, we've been kicking the can down the road for too long, and it's like we're ready.
Yeah, and all that hype for McGregor to just lose again, for him to just snap his leg again.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna pass the, like? I guess he's already passing, but like, it's crazy to think he's gonna pass the piss test. Like, he's burning a hole in the bottom of that thing with all the concoction of drugs he's taking. Like, you can't tell me he's not going to take a piss test and it's not just glowing neon green.
Oh yeah.
That's the sound of his piss glowing.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so I see two articles. I'm not going to open them and read them like a loser. But so there might be talk that they're opening a 165 weight division. If they do, that's what McGregor's going to fight at. I think if he gets the belt, I could either see him retiring with the belt, like, which I think at that point would just be bullshit. Like, you're going to give the guy a belt to retire with. Like, that's just stupid. Yeah. Although that division has been a long time coming. I do think with the move of Ilia Topuria calling out McGregor, I think that's just idiotic. I think that's stupid, and I think that shows this narrow-mindedness. I think what the UFC needs right now is like an O'Malley. O'Malley's not calling out McGregor. He's given props to him. He's mentioned him, but I think, you know, you want a champ that's going to exist in the division. Everything's two division now.
Yeah,
you want to become the champ, get out, champ, get out, and I think right now you should like look at. And I think that's the issue, but like, look at an Adesanya, look at a Kamaru Usman, look at a Volkanovski. Yeah, they all lost. Yeah, they got older, but they cleared a division. Then they lost, and now the next guy is the next big guy. Like, I think that's how there should be parity within the sport instead of you just chasing other belts and putting divisions on hold and creating interims and this, that, and that's why I've always said I really don't agree with the John Jones Miocic fight, because I think it does the same thing of creating almost like a paper champ situation where you have an interim in the weights with a Tom Aspinall that I think should get that shot against John Jones, because I think that's the matchup that should be getting made, not a Miocic who's, with all due respect, hasn't fought in 2 years and lost. Last fight was a disgusting KO. I don't want to see him fight again for a belt until he gets at least one comeback fight. So I think the 165 division might be good, because it would do a 165 and a 175, so that would just spread out the weight classes. I think the next to come would be a 195, which I think could have the potential to be a ripping division. But I know Dana White's not crazy about all the new belts. Like, I think boxing has a belt every 5 pounds, like 3.5 pounds. It's like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But I think having every 10, I think is quite significant. And I think hopefully it would reduce on excessive weight cutting and a lot of missed weights for fights. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I want to see the next fights I want to see in the featherweight division are Ilya Topuria taking on Yair Rodriguez, because I think that would just be a absolute slugfest. And I want to see Volk Holloway again.
Yeah.
And I know Holloway has to fight in the BMF, but no way he's beating Gaethje. I hate that fight, dude. Oh, real quick, before we run out of here, Jamal Hill taking on Alex Pereira. What do you think?
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah? Any more? Anything more?
Not really. And that's the thing. I don't really know much about Hill all too much. I can't remember what his last fight was off the top of my head. What was his last fight even?
I don't know. It was against a champ. Like, he had the belt and then he blew out his Achilles.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it could be a good one. I don't really know, a whole lot going into it. I don't know if these guys have much of a history, but
no.
What do you think for it?
I think Pereira just starches him. I think it's a bit of a weak headlining card or headlining matchup for UFC 300. Like, I think.
Oh, that's the headline match. Ooh, for UFC 300. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a headlining match for something like 300. So I feel like that's kind of a big one, isn't it? That's kind of like a huge.
Yeah, but I think what happened was there was so much hype that it was never going to live up to it.
I mean,
like, admittedly, 299 and 298 almost felt bigger.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm sure it'll still be an interesting card. Nonetheless, like, will live up to the hype that people have for it? Probably not, but regardless, like, it's not like they're gonna. It's not like it's gonna be a bad show. It's still gonna have a bunch of great fights on it.
Yeah,
we're definitely slap down a losing parlay or two on it. You can,
but I'm putting the house on Bo Nickel.
Ooh, yeah.
He's on that card. That's going to be a good one. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to be a good card. This isn't me bashing it. Dana White talked about there could be a documentary on what went down trying to make that 300 card. Like, apparently Leon Edwards was offered 3 fights.
Oh, wow.
You ready for these 3?
Yeah.
Shavkat Rakhmonov, Khamzat Chimaev, and Islam Makhachev. All 3 of those would have been bangers.
Yeah.
We didn't get a single one. And apparently Leon Edwards said yes to all of them.
Really?
Which means, apparently, according to Ariel Helwani, which means it was, I kill everyone. Khamzat Chimaev, Khamzat Chimaev, more like.
Yeah.
As Colby Covington would say. He was the one that said no, and that is so out of his character, but also kind of hilarious because he is Mr. I kill, I smash, I kill, and then he's the one to pussy out on his title shot. Wimp.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was easy, man. He was always like, I fight, it's easy. No, you suck. He's bad at this. So, yeah. That's all I got. Sorry, folks. It's been a very low-key episode today. It's raining outside. I was up late. On the dance floor doing my thing.
Hey, you know what? It happens to the best.
I was up late doing comedy, baby. What have you been up to, Brandon? What's new with you? Leave us with a fun fact, or do you have some clowns? You said you had something big today.
I do, yeah. It's kind of the one thing I have left to do if we don't have anything.
Drop it.
This is huge. I've never heard anything like this. So,
oh boy.
Keep in mind, there's not a whole lot of news to it as of yet because it's only breaking news as of today, and it's still an investigation going on. The Sudbury Wolves in the OHL. If anybody, any of our Canadian listeners, because it's really only Canadians that watch the show Shoresy, you'll know who the Sudbury Wolves are basically in the OHL. So they are currently under investigation for accusations that they have been placing bounties on opposing players.
The old Sean Payton.
Yeah, so I mean, like that's pretty nuts, especially in like a junior hockey league.
Dude, that's awesome.
And they just clinched the playoffs a couple of days ago too. Dude, and that's awesome. They've got like some like examples that they're kind of referencing to, but one is like Barry, like a player from the Barrie Colts delivered a hard but legal hit to one of the Wolves forwards. And then there was a fight, but again, it's like that's what happens if there's a big hard hit. Even if it's clean, sometimes guys will drop the gloves like that. That's just natural. And then they say that the two teams played 3 days later. The Barrie Colts did not dress that defenseman, and then apparently word got out to the Barrie Colts about the possibility of a bounty being placed on him, so they made the decision not to play him. So again, that's like, and that's the thing. Where are the Barrie Colts getting? Like, who's telling them that this is a thing? Like, it's no different from what Ridley Gregg did. Where Toronto fans are like, "Oh, next game we play him, like he's gonna have to answer for it." It's like that's
but that's a fans thing. Like we saw that with Sean Payton. If you're an opposing coach or something and you're putting bounties on guys, then
and that's a thing, right? I don't necessarily think it's a. I guess that's a thing. Like, and it's there's nothing saying how the Barrie Colts found out about this, who it came from, whether it's maybe it's just a player on Sudbury was like, hey, I'm just gonna go out there and fight him. But again, he already fought a player last game for the hit, so it's like it was someone going out there with the intention of trying to injure him or what? I don't know, but it's pretty crazy because we don't get news like this out of junior hockey very often, especially the OHL, which is, if this was the WHL, like, doesn't surprise me one bit because WHL is most definitely the biggest and roughest of the three CHL leagues. So it's something we're gonna have to keep an eye on because I'm curious to see what if they can actually find any truth to these claims, and if they do, what kind of punishment are you potentially looking at for a team that does, like, I don't even know what the punishment would be.
Well, I think whenever there's something like that, I think it ends up being the GM or it ends up being the coach. Like it ends up being front office or staff. Like the players aren't going to get popped for that. Because same when like Sean Payton got in all sorts of trouble because he was laying bounties on
opposing players.
Yeah, opposing players. And Sean Payton got, I think, suspended for a year or something. None of the
players.
They
did a whole movie. Kevin James.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I should watch that movie.
It's actually a really good movie. It's where
Remember the Titans?
No, I can't remember what it's called. But he basically goes back home and tries to reconnect with his son and ends up coaching his son's football team.
And did he put bounties on the high school football team as well?
It wasn't in the movie, but it definitely could have actually happened.
That would be hilarious. Okay, so what you're saying is expect an awesome next season of Shoresy, eh?
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
Pretty much. All right.
But like that's also the basis of what Shoresy's about, basically, is like guys going out there to just fight and scrap and hit. Like I
think Morgan Riley should get a guest spot in the next episode.
Wouldn't surprise me. Actually, they had a couple former NHL players on it. One of which actually, I think he's like 46 or 47, came out of retirement and is playing for the Newfoundland Growlers in the ECHL. If you don't know who the Newfoundland Growlers are, they've got probably, I would say, a top 3 sickest logo in all of hockey. It's just a big old dog. It's a pretty sick logo.
Growlers hockey. Let's look this up. Mid.
The Newfoundland Growlers?
Mid.
Okay, I'll tell you the best one then. Look up the Bloomington Bisons. They're going to be the newest team in the ECHL. Now that's a logo. Without a doubt, that's the coolest logo in all of hockey.
It's not coming up.
The Bisons?
Well, the Bloomington Bisons. Oh, there it is. What the fuck?
Dude, that's a sick logo, man. Got a bison with a jersey on, the top hat, the gloves, the stick. That's fire.
That is so dumb.
That's fire, man.
Dude, I'm gonna have to get a jersey.
Oh, 100%.
Do they have? Can you get merch?
I don't think they've even got
Shop Bison merch now. Yep, you can.
Really?
They only have T-shirts and hoodies. They don't have jerseys. Jerseys. What?
I was gonna say because they're still they're not an actual team. I don't know if they've even come out with their full. But they're gonna make their debut next season. So
probably next season we'll have to get a jersey. I still want a Gamecocks jersey.
Yeah,
it just says Cox Hockey on it.
Yeah,
no, that would be sick. All right, well that's big news. That's big news.
That's huge news. That's crazy.
You know what? I think that's going to translate perfectly into our segment next week.
Actually, yeah, it actually really does. It's kind of a little teaser of.
Yeah, it's a big time teaser.
What's
right. So we both kind of did our clowns halfway through the episode, or I guess yours was closer to the end. You got any more clowns before we go?
No. I think that's all I got. It's all I bring to the table.
All right, I drive with it, ladies and gentlemen. W Energy, jitter free, crash free energy blend. You know, you love. I've been having some on the road. I'm staying with some family. I'm in Vancouver doing some comedy shows. That's why we're doing a road show, and I am staying with my incredible brother, and he's been very nice enough, and he drinks Dubby. So I get there, and he's walking me through. He's like, "Oh, here's the spare key, and here's a tub of Beach and Peach." And do you know what he did so he could get 10% off? Do you know what he did so he could get 10% off?
What did he do?
Did
he send him a nice email?
No, he didn't even have to send him an email. Did he have to beg Dubby? No. He typed in 3 simple letters. He used our link and he typed in 3 simple letters. That is PGO. Those 3 letters got him 10% off his entire order. And now he's beaching and peaching until the cows come home. So, ladies and gentlemen, use the link in our bios. Use 3 simple letters, PGO. That's right, PGO gets you 10% off your entire order at checkout. And when we say links in our bios, we are referring to our social media, which is at PGO Show on Instagram and TikTok, at PG Overtime on X, and at Postgame Overtime, Postgame one word, on YouTube. You click any of the links in any of those bios, you're going to get to all of our social medias from there. That also includes our Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and hit us up. Tell us what you're listening to us on, because we've noticed the episodes, the downloads going up a little bit, the listens going up. So we want to hear from you. Drop us a line on Instagram. Drop us a line. We only check our Instagram. I'm going to be real. Do you check our Twitter? I don't check.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, Brandon checks it.
A lot of sex bots. A lot of sex bots.
Okay, it looks like I'm checking the Twitter now too.
On the Twitter.
Hold up, what's our Twitter? I'm gonna log into our Twitter right now. Anyways, folks, check us out on there and drop us a line. We want to hear from you in our DMs. What are you listening on, and what do you want to see more of? And are you ready for next episode? Because we want you to stay tuned, because we got something awesome coming at you, and we're really looking forward to showing it for you guys. So thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for following along. A little bit of a slower episode, a little bit of a transitional period, but we will be coming back at you next week, folks, with the damage. Thank you so much. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.